Thursday, March 10, 2022, 4 o'clock p.m. Robbie, if you would call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Creasy.
Present.
Commissioner Denenberg.
Here.
Commissioner Wandell.
Here.
Waddell, sorry. Commissioner Smallridge.
Here.
Commissioner Jameson.
Here.
Commissioner White.
Here.
And Chairman Bow.
Here, let the record reflect we do have a quorum. Commissioner Fritz is absent. If y'all will join me, I will go to the Lord in prayer, and Commissioner Waddell will lead us in the pledge. Heavenly Father, we come to you again, giving you honor and praise and thanking you for all that's good in our lives, knowing, Lord, that all good things come from you. But most of all, Father, for our salvation that gives us the right to call on you at any time. Please forgive us of our sins, times, Lord, that we fail you. Strengthen us, cleanse us, Lord, to always do what's right in your sight. Be with us, Father, as we enter into this meeting tonight. Be with each mind, each heart. Lord, be with each of us. Give us your wisdom, Lord, to do what's right by your people. In Jesus' holy name, amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioners. First item on the agenda is our cash and fund balance report. Director Holbrook.
Yes, sir. Thank you. For General Fund 101, restricted funds are $961,201. Committed at $3.2 million. Assigned funds are $3.1 million. Unassigned fund balance is at $7,040,688 for a total fund balance of $14,449,777. Cash is at $19,370,998, which is up $2.5 million from last year. And it's also, I was telling Shane earlier, because we usually meet before budget meeting and talk about the agenda, but February is always our high water mark because it's the last month we collect taxes. Taxes are due on the 28th, so that will go down each month from now on.
Good job by our county trustee,
Yes.
Gina Copeland, on those collections. Any questions on the cash and fund balance report? Hearing none, continue on, please.
Sales tax for January, the county as a whole was down 6%, $4.6 million compared to $4.9 million last January. And for Anderson County's portion, we were down 12%, but still $615,812 is a top 5 or 6 number for compared to last year. So we did well. We're just starting to level off with sales tax instead of going up, as we have in most months.
Any questions on the sales tax report? Hearing none, moving on.
Okay. In the budget amendments, 1 through 13 are transfers not requiring commission approval. Seeking approval as a group.
Motion to approve as a group.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Denenberg to approve items 1 through 13 as a group. That was seconded by Dr. Smallridge. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, number 3 is it's from the school department, transfer and appropriations 14 through 17. There are 4 of them. The first one's quite large, but it is all transfers through payroll codes. They're not asking for any more money. They're just kind of transferring budget to accommodate new programs, while others have been budgeted in incorrect category. I even called Julie and asked her about this. It's a funny line, and she goes, well, she told me I have the right people on the bus, but not on the right seat.
You need a chart.
That's her
I'll
comment.
make a motion to approve as a group to open discussion. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Denenberg to approve items 14 through 17 as a group, seconded by Commissioner Jameson. Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Denenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Parrott? Page 15 is for travel expenses for, and I guess this is supposed to be their food money. Oh, never mind.
Which one is
Which
that?
is which, I don't know.
It's this one.
It's 82257. How many people are going?
We're sending about 45 people.
Why?
Well, because we've got so many new teachers and so many new staff members, and this is one of the best PLC conferences in the nation, and it's not often we get to go to. It's in Charlotte, so it's the last week in June, so we're going to be sending quite a few people to that.
I just thought that $12,000 was a lot to be spending out for per diem.
Yep.
But I'm taking you at your word that these needed.
I think per diem's $60 a day or something like that, and it's a 3-day trip. They go down on a Tuesday afternoon, and they go Wednesday, Thursday, and they come back Friday. So it's
Okay.
about $175 a person.
Well, part of my copy, as far as the description detailed, was a little cut off, so maybe it was on there, and that's why I didn't see it, but I was eating lunch when I had it, and I thought I needed to go where they're going. Thank you, Dr. Parrott.
And the other thing too is the state is talking about the $1 million moving stuff around. The state every now and then, they just say, well, you need to pay for this person out of this code and not out of this code. So that's why Julie's trying to get that stuff done earlier than instead of coming up in May and we got 450 amendments. So
Well-
trying to get it done early.
There are quite a few of them there, and
Yep.
big numbers, too.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Dr. Barrett, it sounds like this is a conference is strong on instruction.
Yes.
Is that why you're sending so
Yes,
many?
yes, it is. It's put on by Solution Tree, and that was one of the main reasons we started doing our early out Wednesdays, so we could put everybody in these PEC conferences. So what we're doing is we're sending the coaches, our assistant principals, our principals, and then we're sending a couple of teachers from either one. And it's all about, it's not just on one thing, it's on RTI, it's on instruction, it's on mental health, so it's a one catch-all conference.
I was going to say, for that number, it sounds like, 12,000 seems like a lot, but 45 people, it sounds like a very good conference.
Yep.
A good expenditure.
Yes.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, number 18 is from the Clinton Library for $619.40. They're decreasing their local reserve and increasing periodicals, data processing, and memberships by that amount.
Move for approval. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Smallridge to approve item number 18, seconded by Commissioner Creasy. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
All right, the next one, number 19, is from the trustee's office, from Regina Copeland. It's increasing her several payroll codes, $22,778, and we're increasing revenue code in lieu of salary for the trustee, $22,778. This will add an additional full-time person in their office, and this will affect next year's budget as well.
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Motion to approve item number 19 by Commissioner Creasy, seconded by Commissioner Denenberg. Any discussion?
Tell me why, tell me why you're doing this.
We have increased since 2018, our tax parcels have increased. Out of my Oak Ridge office, I run the drive-through for myself and the clerk as well, and I do express service for the clerk. And we've just gotten really, really busy down there. And right now, I'm running it with a full-time and a part-time, and I need an additional full-time person down there. At times, I'm having to have 3 full-time people down there. We also do tax payments during the city of Oak Ridge, their tax collection. We also do that for them, and we have a contract with them. They pay us $13,000 a year to do tax payments for them for 2 months. We also do their tax freeze and tax relief, along with the county's tax freeze and tax relief, along with the clerk's work, along with the county tax payments. And I have a full-time and a part-time person down there doing that.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have any questions?
I have a comment.
Commissioner Creasy.
Yeah, there's one thing that I got from going over the budget, is from her comments or explanations, is that economically, this county's looking real good right now. We're picking up quite a bit of business from the planning and zoning and from you with the tax collections. At least that's what I got from reading this budget report.
I think from 2018 to as of recent, I think we've picked up 758 parcels, I think, in those years.
Yeah.
And talking with Billy today, the property assessor, we're looking at adding several more that's developments that are coming on. And when we add that, it causes us to be busy as well, not just with the clerk work. It adds work in Jeff's office, but it does in my office as well.
Thank you for what you're doing, Regina.
Any
Thank
further
you.
discussion? Dr. Smalley.
When you talk about parcels, and you picked up all those parcels, and where does that come from? Where do they come from?
Well, it's developments of subdivisions. That's where you have maybe 50 acres of land and a developer's moved in and they've bought that and they divide it up into 200 parcels. And then they put houses on it. Then, we have where we had one taxpayer coming in and paying that 150-acre parcel. Now we have 200 coming in paying on that 50-acre parcel.
So it's mostly vacant land which is being developed.
It's developers that's coming in and dividing up and making subdivisions.
good
And we've got,
news. That's
we've
good
got,
news.
yes. And
I
we've
know
got.
you're busier, but it's good news.
We are, and there's several, I think that they've already picked up, but there's several more on the horizon that are coming as well.
Yeah.
That will affect us in 2022 tax year.
Business is good.
It is good. Hopefully it stays good.
Any further discussion? Yes, sir.
Ms. Copeland, is it your job or the property assessor's job to find parcels that's not being taxed?
That is property assessor.
Does that ever happen?
No, every now and then we'll have some adjustment in something where he may do a pickup or, where a piece of property has gotten divided, but I'm not aware of any that have been
All
lost.
right, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carried.
Thank you all for your time.
Okay, the
Thank you
next,
for your good work.
thanks, Regina. The next one is from the mayor, the next 6. I want to do 20 through 25 if possible together and pull 26 to do by itself, just because I want to make sure we understand what 26 is for. But 20 through 25 are all from the mayor. The first 2 are from the animal care, using their restricted funds. The next 2 are from the senior center. One is increasing revenue. They're adding in new program fees and using the restricted funds, $12,000. And the last one is using the last of the SDAG money from 2 years ago, $6,499.90 is left. Moving to solid waste to build a new shed in Briceville at the convenience center, I think.
So right now, you're asking for a motion for 20 through 25 as a
25.
group?
Or we can, I mean, I can answer any questions. And obviously, the mayor can too. She's here.
Do we have,
I'll make the motion.
Second.
motion made by Commissioner Denenberg to approve items 20 through 25 as a group, seconded by Commissioner Jameson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? I'm sorry, Commissioner Denenberg, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman. Mayor, there you are. First, I think are congratulations in order on a new grandchild?
Oh, yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Baby John. John Atticus.
Now we'll get back to the fun stuff. On number 20, page 24, or number 24 here, you have, on this one, 8226, I have questions as to who's going to be doing the work on the convenience center,
Oh, okay,
the actual building.
so Vernon in the planning office, he has managed the build for the Glen Alpine. He's managing the build on the Wolf Valley Convenience Center, and he will be doing this one as well. He actually also managed that on Marlowe. So he works with Jeff in solid waste.
So it's all in-house with the
Yes,
county
yes.
employees? Okay.
And so he'll either, if there's, for instance, an electrical contractor, he oversees that, but then if there's work that has to be done, usually works with Chairman Val at the jail. We use inmate labor.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a great program, partnership, and a lot of cost saving involved.
Good. All right. And I guess also, so we have two convenience centers, I'm building,
No, on that
confused.
particular one, we actually, it requires 2 budget amendments, so you have to pull it out of that DGA
okay,
grant, and then you have to do the second one that actually transfers it in. It's an audit thing per Robbie, so, and their
let's keep it
bookkeeping.
straight.
We have to do it this way.
We don't want any audit findings.
Because the money's in general fund, we have to do 2 to get it to solid waste.
Thank you.
Which
That's all
this money
that I-
can be used for any fund, so that's, not all money in general fund can be used this way, but this can.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, thank you both. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any further discussion? Commissioner Smallridge?
Mayor, could you comment a little bit on item 23, the design for the senior center? And it sounds like that's pretty detailed.
Okay, the first one or the second one? The master plan, site master plan?
Yeah, well, just the whole,
Okay, on the Studio 4 design, so what we did is, when we first were doing the renovations at the senior center at 96 Mariner Point, we engaged an architect, which was Studio 4 Design. And then when the bids came in for the whole project, it was more than we had funding for. So what we did is we had to scale the project down, pull out some of the work, which was the kitchen completion, and then there's that galley kitchen conversion of one of the classrooms, and then they were going to reduce that entrance, the interior entrance, to one doorway. We had to pull that out to be able to afford the project. The contract is, if you look at the kitchen, they already framed it in, they have the window, but there wasn't the funding to do the final completion. So what we're looking at doing here is using the architect to basically just brush up the plans for what's left, because they have to pull out and meet with, we did meet with Jay on the existing, the original contract that went to bid. We can still use that, so we can still use the same contractor and go forward with that, but we need to give them this portion of the plan. So that's what that's for. The site, the other part of the plan is there has been a lot of interest in doing a walking trail on that campus. If you've ever been there, you see a lot of young people there. Their families, there are people that walk, they bring their dogs over. People ride bikes. I mean, there's already a lot of activity there because the Mariner Point community is there. So what we're hoping to do is maybe make more designated areas for both the seniors at the facility who come to visit, but then also the larger community at large. And Commissioner McCamey does have someone who's willing to do the walking track. I don't know if it's completely free or low cost, or there's some contributions there. but we do have to have an actual design to be able to do it professionally and properly. So that's part of it. And then also, because of the community, we do need to have a true design process where we get input from the community, we present a couple of options, we let the community provide feedback, because we don't want to do anything to upset the neighborhood or do something that they don't want. So for instance, we're not going to do this, but if we were going to put a skateboard park in there, I don't know that there would be support for that. There may be, I don't know. But those are the things we need to look at and go through that communicative process with the community.
I guess I didn't realize what's the size of that site?
Oh, gosh, we have, well, so there's actually 2 parcels of land there. There's the main campus that the facility is on, but then we also got an additional parcel that came with it. So it really goes back up to, I can't remember, Commissioner Jameson, what's the name of that road that's behind? Yes, there's like townhouses all back there. So we've got a pretty good, I don't know the acreage, I apologize. I should have it memorized, but I don't.
Thank you.
Andy was in support of the skateboarding thing, by the way.
No,
That'll be the headline.
I catch him on Instagram.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried. Now we're on item 26.
Okay, 26 is actually using the ARP funds, $92,000 for a professional engineering services for performance of a comprehensive water sewer utility master plan. The mayor can speak about this more, but since we are using ARP funds, I wanted to take this one separate, just to make sure that we know we're using those funds. And I also, even though it is a transfer, I want to make sure I pull this one out and have full commission vote on it as well in the next meeting.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion. Or discussion.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Denenberg to approve item 26, seconded by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Commissioner Denenberg.
Mayor Frank? The very last sentence of your detailed explanation reads, "This project would better position Anderson County for capturing additional funding from TDEC." Would you explain that a little more in detail, please?
Yes, so that county received 14+ million from the American Rescue Plan Act. Then the state of Tennessee received additional funding, and they are allocating an additional $5 million to Anderson County for water and sewer projects and stormwater. All the municipalities get a direct allocation from those additional funds as well. Then, on top of that, there will be competitive awards of additional funding for any projects that are collaborative in nature, meaning we work together as municipalities and county and basically come to an agreement for certain projects that we might want to work on. So for instance, maybe connectivity in events of an emergency, or cybersecurity, enhancing cybersecurity resilience with the water systems, projects like that. And so what this particular plan is about is working with the various utility providers, and then it would give you all the ability to make better decisions for that $5 million that the county receives. So you may want to use it all for the water authority, or you may want to say, looking at this slate of priorities that we've produced under this master plan, you may want to give $2 million to the water authority, X to Oak Ridge, X to Norris, X to Oliver Springs, and X to Rocky Top. That's what this document would put in your hands instead of it being just a sales pitch from whoever shows up at the meeting. It gives you where are the highest areas of need. And then from there, you also have a master plan that we hand and show to TDEC that, look, we're working together and we are positioned to kind of that shovel-ready concept. Here's something that we have and we've proven that we're working together. And so this expenditure is an opportunity for return on investment and to get even additional funds.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay. 27 and 28 are from solid waste, Jeff Trabalka. Both are using restricted funds from solid waste, and one for other contracted services and the other for crushed stone fencing, other contracted services, recycling centers, and other supplies and materials. And Jeff's provided a very detailed explanation on both of them.
Move for approval.
Motion made by Commissioner Creasy to approve items 27 and 28. Jerry? Do we have a second?
Second?
Second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, number 29 is from the Finance Department for $3,666. It's using committed funds from GovDeals. A couple of weekends ago, we lost power at the courthouse for several hours, and apparently in my server room and in the circuit court server room, we lost a battery that needs to be replaced. And we're not talking like a little battery, we're talking like a major,
It's a big battery.
yes.
It's an almost $4,000 battery.
Right, so, but we are seeking insurance recovery, and I think that we will get that, so it will probably take care of itself. But the need is sooner than later to replace it.
Move to approve.
Commissioner Denenberg moves to approve item number 29, seconded by Commissioner Jameson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried. Sorry, Brian.
Okay, 30 and 31 are from the Highway Department, both using restricted funds, $75,000 for machinery and equipment parts, and $451,042 for, nope, I'm sorry, it's not using restricted funds. He's transferring with a major line item from county capital outlay highway construction to asphalt, $451,042.
Commissioner Waddell moves to approve item number 30 and 31. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Excuse me, seconded by Commissioner Denenberg. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no.
I have a feeling there's going to be some
Motion
real
carried.
increases in that department.
No doubt.
Number 32 is from the Election Commission. It's increasing part-time $8,000 and decreasing their deputy registers $8,000. He's been short one full-time employee pretty much the whole fiscal year, so he's used a lot of part-time.
Move for approval?
Commissioner Smallridge moves to approve item number 32. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Denenberg. Any discussion?
Mark, have you got anything you want to add to what you already put on your piece of paper?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Been putting in some extra hours, have you?
We have been very busy, very busy.
I have nothing.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, and our last budget amendment on the agenda is from the district attorney's from Family Justice Center, from General Clark. Decreasing fund balance $13,928 and increasing salary and benefits by that amount.
Move to approve.
Commissioner Denenberg moves to approve, seconded by Commissioner Jameson on item number 33. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carried. Sorry, General. Melissa, you could stand up and talk a little bit if you like. Okay. Yeah. All right, Robbie, go ahead.
Okay, under sections, the 22, 23 proposed budgets, when we did the guidelines, we asked departments to produce a no increase budget, pretty much like we ask every year. But this year, we had, out of 55 departments or function codes, we had 49 with no increases and 6 with increases. But the reason I like to do that, and I think as a budget committee too, is it gives us a chance to look at last year's budgets there are some increases. There were CTAS increases for elected officials, the CPI increases for the judges and the law director. We had one more day of accrual added into each person's payroll. But forecasting revenue, go ahead and do in revenue for the new year with expenses from no increases in budget, no increased budgets. We have $1,196,695, $1.2 million in excess revenue currently. That's without any changes or additions. You know, there's requests, so we're in pretty good shape as far as, tackling this year's budget, I think, because we're going to be faced with some
Adjustments.
Yes, I feel as if with the CPI, the cost of living, me and Randy pulled that today, or Randy pulled it for me. It's at 8.4. The last time we pulled it in November, it was at 7.2, so just keeps rising. So we're all affected by that, and all the employees, and so, they're looking at the budget committee and commission to help out with that, so. Anyway, what I'm looking for today for the budget is we could go ahead and approve, or make a motion to approve the 49 departments that presented a budget with no increase. And we will put 6 on for the budget hearings next month. And in the additional pages I gave you, on the very last page, there are I think it lists the 6 departments, which 4 of them are the sheriff. And then HR and county clerk and tourism, so there might be 7 departments. So on the 24th, we're having our budget hearing, so these 7 will speak, and then there might be a couple of other additions, but right now, that's what we have.
So we'll go ahead and approve the 49 today,
Yes,
and then we can deal with the other 7.
at the next meeting.
Do we have a motion to approve the 49?
I'll make a motion to approve discussion purposes.
Commissioner Dennenberg moves to approve the 49 budgets that are already submitted without increase, seconded by Commissioner Jameson. Any discussion? Dr. Smarge?
Robbie, does this, for these 49 departments, at this point, there's no salary increase?
No, except for
built in.
unless there was an elected official,
So that would all be an add-on?
that is already included in this
Okay. And,
for each department.
and the ARP funds are not in here?
No.
And we have no capital in
None.
there? Okay.
No, as usual, like we always do. Sometimes we don't address capital till the rollover from the previous budget year.
So those are things we'll have to deal with as we go.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Commissioner Dennenberg?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Robbie, I know that from conversations I've had and/or overhearing conversations, that we have issues in some of our major departments, as in law enforcement, et cetera, where they're having and you can address this better than I can, real issues of acquiring and retaining personnel, primarily due to salaries that are available to offer to people. The budget from last year, and is there anything there that can help with the issues at hand? There's nobody, well, that's why I keep looking around to see if there's anyone from that department that can help.
I mean, I don't know if he wants to.
Oh, let's just put
I
you
don't-
on the spot.
Thank you for bringing this up. I'm not prepared to
Well, I know you're not.
address it, but you're correct. Staffing and offering our starting salaries to these positions is critical, and we're not competing. We've talked about it in command staff. Some of the supervisors are aware of it. I think Sergeant and myself have talked about it. We really didn't even present what we felt like we needed, honestly. We presented what we felt like we could hopefully work with you all with and maybe get us some relief, moving forward, trying to fill these positions. But as you all know, we're really struggling, especially in the jail, just keeping it
Yeah.
staffed to minimum levels. And we'll do our best to keep the ship floating till the budget process goes through. But we really are in bad situation as far as having a big group of people interested in applying with us right now. And it's not just our department.
No, I know it's
It's
not.
everywhere. But it's something that we've really got to address. And I appreciate y'all, looking at that and taking a serious look into it.
Well, and again, I've just overheard conversations and maybe on the peripherals been part of conversations. But my point is, if we don't know, we can't address it.
Yes.
So I guess we really do need to know what it's going to take to make our jail a safe place, not only for the inmates, but primarily for the employees over there too.
Well,
So,
you're right. They're definitely overworked currently because the staffing's so low. Is it 23 positions currently short?
well, that's
23
six more than the
positions.
last time I heard about it.
On patrol, we're trying to get full staff, but every time we feel like we've got the people hired to fill our shifts, we have one or two turn their resignation in for a higher paying salary that maybe even isn't in law enforcement.
Yeah,
And it's just painful,
well, thank you for your input and information.
Thank you all.
But I certainly think this is something that we need to have more information about and discuss more firmly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Denenberg. And just to keep everybody on track, we're voting on the 49 departments that have already turned in
Right.
with
Yes.
a balanced budget. We are not talking about the sheriff's office yet, or HR, tourism, and which clerk?
County clerk.
County clerks. We'll discuss those at a later time. I'm sure the sheriff's office budget, when they turn it in, hopefully will address this issue. Just to remind everybody what we're voting on now. Commissioner Creasy, go ahead, sir.
Well, there was a question referring to what he was talking about is the jailers. I'm trying to recall what the starting salary is for a jailer.
$15.77 an hour.
Good. That's, because I was pushing for that a couple of years ago, to get it up to 15.
Problem is, $15.77 today is not what it
Right.
was.
Well, I know,
A
but
few
at the
years ago.
time
Yes,
that
sir.
we moved it, it was.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Also, funds 115, 118, 122, 127, and 128 are in really good shape and no increased budgets. Fund 116, they submitted a budget. I mean, a no increase, but they have a $65,000 deficit. So I really think there's more work to be done with 116, so I really don't, I'm not asking for approval for that fund yet. But if we could go ahead and approve the other 15, 18, 22, 27, and 28 as well.
15, 18,
122, 127, and 128.
22, 27, and 28.
No, not 128. Apologize.
Take
They're
off
on the
28.
They're on the budget hearings.
Okay.
Could you do that slowly, please?
Yes, ma'am. We need a motion to approve 115, I'm sorry, I didn't bring my reading glasses. 118, thank you, Doctor.
122 and 127.
122 and 127. Motion made by Commissioner Jameson to approve. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried. Commissioner Yeager's laughing at me.
And just really
Hand those
quickly,
back.
I know the sheriff's department, especially the detention facilities, is, they're well prepared to come on the 24th and talk about that. Tyler's already asked me several times when that meeting was, so there'll be lots of, I don't know if they're going to have a presentation quite like they had 2 or 3 years ago, but I'm sure they'll have some good stuff for us that meeting. But the 24th is our next meeting for budget. It's the budget hearings, and I'll send out an agenda that Monday before, so that, just a reminder. That's really all I have for budget today. But I do also have, just as requested, we did a budget questionnaire, and there's like 10 to 15 of these in here, and there's some really good responses. So if you've had time to read them or want to take the time to read them, you can, a lot of them deal with compensation and payroll and retainage for employees, so you'll get a kind of a feel for where the county's at in some of the departments.
What about the ones you handed out?
Yeah, we've
No, we're
got
gonna do
in new
those too.
business.
That's under new business.
Oh,
Apologize, we have one more thing.
Under new business, go ahead.
Yes, I have 4 budget amendments under new business. One's a transfer for $1,000 from the juvenile department. One is a grant from EMS for $19,114. We're increasing revenue and increasing an expenditure code. One is a grant from the sheriff's department for $2,772, increasing revenue and expenditure code. And the last one is the second part of the battery that Rex, me and him are sharing the cost, so he didn't get his in time for when I sent out the agenda, so this is part 2 of the battery.
second.
Can we do all those as a
Yes.
group?
You can if you'd like.
Y'all okay with those? Commissioner Waddell moves to approve, they don't have a number, but the last 4 budget amendments on the March 10 agenda as a group, seconded by Commissioner Dennenberg. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, and I also included a couple little array scenario just for you to look at, compensation increases, different scenarios, and what the budget hearings will probably look like in the 24th. There might be a couple additions, but right now, that's what it looks like. So we don't have to vote on any of that or discuss it. That's just for your information only.
Anything under old business? Any more business come before the committee? Hearing none, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
What'd you?